So I want to ask you a question because I feel like me and Cheyenne have been overwhelming the conversation with like our Black experience versus white people. White people are the devil.
Please edit that out. Edit that out.
You have to admit.
But like, what is your opinion on it as like a person of Indian descent?
What was the question again?
What is your perspective on racism as a person of Indian descent who hasn't had to face like the same things that we have, but you've had like other non-pleasant relations?
And what's your experience with like cultural appropriation? How has it affected your culture specifically as well?
So like when I first came across cultural appropriation, I thought it was I went back and forth on it for like many years because I was just like, it is cultural appropriation to where like, okay, so my language is from Malayalam, so I call it a porta, but it's commonly known as a bindi, you know? So I'm gonna say porta, but it means also bindi. So I'd be like, okay, it's not bad to put on a bindi because they're just appreciating our culture. But then I was like, no, it is bad because someone online told me it was. And so kind of like I had to figure out my own way around it. So here's the real, not the real reason, but like here's the main reason why people don't like appropriation is because like you can appreciate a culture without taking things from it without knowing it's in. No, turn it back. Turn it back.
You're having a serious.
I don't care. People need to know. This is the truth. Okay, so my main thing is that with Indian people, and just Asian people in general, because when I was at the WGERD, one of my friends was talking about this, and she said that like, you know, when she brought Vietnamese food from home, people would be like, oh, what is that? What smells like that, you know? And like Indian people also experience that, and it's just like, you don't get to bully us for like smelling like curry for like 10 years and then be like, I love turmeric shakes. Like, no, you can't do that. Also, that sounds disgusting. It's basically that. It's just the fact that you don't get to like ridicule us for our culture and then realize it's really cool after all the trauma you've put us through.
Yeah.
Like you can appreciate it from far away, but like you can be up close and personal with it after you've done this. And it's not like a generalizing thing, or I guess it is, I don't know. I feel like I'm talking to myself in circles. But like, how do I say this? It's not like every single person is guilty of ridiculing an Indian person so they can't wear a bindi. It's just a culture that was affected onto brown people, especially post 9/11, where like so many brown people were killed or assaulted or harassed, or you know, there's like just so many horror stories. I'm not Muslim, I'm Indian, I'm nowhere near the demographic that was attacked during the 9/11, after 9/11. But that didn't change anything because I was still brown, you know? So I still got the terrorist jokes and all that. But like, I think it's just the fact that like so many Indians have gone through this bullshit being in America. At this point, they're just like, you don't get to appreciate our culture like this up front and close. Because like, we didn't get to appreciate it up front and close.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's...
So this is gonna sound really weird, but one of the things I hate is like racism is bad generally, just like as a baseline.
Where is this going?
No, racism is bad. The thing that pisses me off is like when people make racist jokes and they don't even try to be accurate about it.
Yeah, but that's the point of racist jokes.
You
right?
know, I'm like, if you're gonna be racist, at least be a good racist. You know, do your research. I don't know. I don't like factual. I don't like when people are not factual about anything and they're like factual inaccuracies. I'm just like, yo, if you're gonna be racist towards like brown Muslim people, like find out who's a brown Muslim person before you are racist. And I know that's like a really bad stance to take. That's a really bad stance to take. It's a really bad take, and I know this, but I'm just like. Before you decide to group everyone into a monolith race, just like make the effort, you know?
Like that's what racism is. Like
it really is. Like I kind of agree with both of y'all. I agree with you both, but like honestly, bad take. And I'm telling that to myself as well. It's a horrible take, but like also like I kind of agree. Like especially like with like it's like a lot of quote times are like, oh, I can't tell black people apart, or you know, I can't tell like Asian people apart. And it's just like, okay, so you're telling this like really racist Chinese person joke to a Korean person, and it's like,
like,
try better. Try
your
harder.
racism is not gonna hurt if you're not
It'll
accurate
still
about it.
hurt.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
it'll
like-
still hurt, but you're not getting the same HP level damages, you know?
I don't think real life works like that. I'm just gonna put it out there.
I don't know. I'm just like, I just find racism just so weird as a concept. And like, yes, I've lived with it. Yes, I've experienced it. But like, just thinking about it, just like intellectually discussing it, it just seems like such an absurd concept when you distance yourself from it. You're just like, yo, you're a sack of meat and bones, and you're making fun of me for having melanin. Like,
But your
Is this
second
weird?
bones is darker than theirs.
is that
Basically.
it? Because of chemical functions, we decided to hate each other.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Sorry, just like my favorite type of racism is like religious racism. Like,
oh my god,
it's like-
What is that?
So like there's different stories, like especially Christianity, like that's all I have experience with. So there's like the curse of Ham, which is the idea.
Ham?
Ham was a character in the Bible who
I thought you were talking about food ham, and I was
Yes,
like,
Ham is cursed.
of ham?
So basically, the story goes that Ham's descendants were cursed to be dark.
Oh, and they were like foretold to be slaves and blah 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 and stuff like that.
And
Okay.
so that's why like different religions like Mormons are just like they did not let black people be like in the church like as like preachers or whatever until like the 70s or 80s or something. And you still get a lot of stuff like that. It's just like, oh, you're black because God doesn't like you kind of stuff. That's like exactly.
I didn't mean to laugh.
Hilarious.
It just sounds ridiculous.
you don't understand how many different, like, how, like, just flabbergasting it is to just, like, to not realize you were being kind of racist. Like, for example, I was recently confronted with the fact that I did not know that Jewish people were an ethno-religious group.
Oh, Claire.
No, you don't understand.
That's okay. People learn a different
No, it's just
way.
like you didn't know how. I don't know the story. Please.
It took me like 17 years to finally realize that Jewish people were an ethno-religious group and they weren't all just white people. I was like, okay, look, if you're Jewish, you're just like white. Because
Right.
that's all I was confronted with. That was like my worldview. But then I was just like, wait. You were enslaved by Egyptians. You spent like 40 years in the desert. There's no way you can all be white people. And then I realized all of that is a result of the Holocaust. And like, there used to be like Jewish people everywhere. There were Greek Jewish people. There were just like black Jewish people.
Ethiopian.
And yeah, there's the Ethiopian Jewish people. And I was just like, wait, there's so much variety. And you've been telling me for so many years that a black Jewish person is a joke and nothing more. And I was just like, yo, we could have done so much better. But like, that's the thing. It's like, a lot of my personal biases that I've had to unlearn, I've had to teach myself. I've had to be like confronted with the truth and not go on the defensive immediately and go, of course you're wrong. All Jewish people are white people and that's it. There's nothing more. But like, why don't we appreciate each other's differences in a way we can learn about them and be critical about our own internal biases? I just really hate that because there's a lot of things that I'm learning now and I'm just like, this is like really obvious, like post learning it, but like before learning it I was just like, oh yes, I'm running around in a world where all Jewish people are white and it's totally normal. And I hate that. I hate my own ignorance and the fact that I'll never have enough time to learn everything.
I mean,
You could live forever.
No, I'm not becoming a tomorrow.
anyways.
So, on to cultural appropriation. So here's one of my other things is, so one of the selling points of America is that we're a
melting
cultural melting pot.
Yeah, we all
So
stick together. It's
at what point do we differentiate cultural amalgamation from appropriation?
See, that's what I want to touch on too, because a lot of people are just like, oh, you're appropriating white culture by dyeing your hair blonde. And it's like, there's, like you said, amalgamation, but there's another term for it. It's like when you have to like do something so you can like survive. And so like straightening assimilation. Thank you. There's another A. There's too many A's.
There's a lot of E's for this conversation.
There sure is. So yeah.
There's also the fact that like black people do have blonde hair naturally.
They do.
And-
blue eyes sometimes, and green eyes, and gray eyes.
genetics is not the thing that you should be basing race on, because I recently found out there was this article of a girl, because I wanted to see what Indians with like natural red hair would look like, because I wanted to dye my hair like an orangey red hair, and I was like, I don't know if this is gonna fit my skin tone, so I just did this crazy red. But I looked up this article where this girl looks like she's just straight up Irish, you know? She has the ginger hair, the freckles, the blue or green eyes, I don't remember which one, but her parents were dark-skinned Indians, both of them. But she came out completely white looking, like she would fit in Ireland perfectly.
Genetics is Russian roulette.
Yeah, it really is. There's also a couple in, I hate just generalizing and saying just Africa, but like I don't remember where specifically in Africa, where their baby came out super fucking white and the husband was really confused and like
there's kind of the opposite case I heard of in South Africa. White, like in like I forget when, but like a long time ago, a white couple came out with a super black looking kid, curly hair and all. And so because it was during apartheid, whatever, she could not go to like the white schools with everyone else. She could not do all these different things because she looked black, even though she was genetically white. That was their kid. But this kind of stuff happens a lot. There's like at least 2 recent cases of twins, mixed race kids, where one comes out white looking, one comes out black looking, and it's insane. One was from Britain in the UK, and it was funny. The newscast talking about it. The news lady was like, good on her for coming out with white skin. Like she didn't say for coming out with white skin, but they're like, oh, there's one that looks white, good on her. And it's like,
we made that decision, didn't we?
She decided to get fired that day. But yeah, sorry, genetics is just not a good factor.
Genetics is a Russian roulette, but I also feel like people should be more aware of that, because like, so here's a thing that makes me angry quite often is the fetishization of mixed people. Especially, so this is just my experience, but especially when like encountering black people in media. So here's the thing, mixed people, good on y'all, have fun. This is not against you, this is against the society that forces us to look at you always and desire you as like the ultimate of ultimates. But every time I go to look for a black role model, it's always someone who's mixed, has light skinned hair, and has like 4C hair that's like curly, you know, but not nappy, because we don't want you to look black. We just want you to have like that exotic tendency, but we still want you to be passable enough. And it's just like, and I'm just like, really? And then I found out, and in the terms of learning my own history as a black person inhabiting America, and as an immigrant, which is horrible all across the board.
Don't recommend it. No.
Yeah, would not recommend. 100% go for the white experience if you can. And so I found out about like the paper bag test. And I was just like, this is a thing we have to face? Like, are you serious right now, my dude? A paper bag, like, paper bags come in multiple shades and you still choose the lightest shade?
Listen, this is like the 1800s. They only probably came in one shade.
This went on
into the 60s.
Yeah.
It's probably past that, honestly.
And past that.
But again, this ties back into the assimilation kind of thing.
Which one of our founding fathers had that whole formula of how many white people you had to
I think it was
do with before you had, like, there was like a racial formula and everything. There's an episode on PBS, Say It Loud, that covers the whole thing, and it's very funny.
That's funny. I want to say it was Jefferson, but again, this ties into assimilation. If
I'm gonna be racist for a moment, and all white founding fathers look the same. Bad.
Leave them alone. They lived in the 1800s. They didn't have any water to clean themselves with.
Rivers existed. My people bathed in rivers. So could theirs.
Okay. Assimilation. If there's one dominant culture, and this culture makes you and everyone around you believe that to be successful, to be good, to have everything good in life, turn it back around.
Thank you, I didn't notice that.
To have anything good in life, you had to be white, and that the closer you were to white, the better. And that, you know, your natural hair, your natural skin color everything about you is bad and wrong and you should try to change it, then to survive, you have to change it. So to survive, you have to straighten your hair or, lighten your skin through unnatural means. You have to tell your kids, like, don't go out in the sun because you're gonna get too dark, because that affects your chances in life, your chances at surviving. With the paper bag test, it was kind of like a gateway into upper class society. If you were not light skinned, then you couldn't make it in the world, and these were oftentimes, it was like churches, it was social groups of like some sort, it was colleges that would do this. And yeah, to make it, you have to assimilate, you have to go and change your culture, you have to take aspects of other cultures to survive. You have to stop eating the food you used to eat, you have to stop dressing how you used to dress. But that's not the same as appropriation. That is about survival. Appropriation is just like, oh, dreads look like fun, let's try that out.
I'm not gonna, sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna try to other things like, oh, bindis, those are really cute. Wouldn't it look cute if I had a little dot on my forehead? Yeah, let's try that out. Let's do it. Curry tastes so good. Let's eat it. And it's not like, if you're appropriating, you're not really doing it for a reason. You're just doing it because you want to, and you can. And with black people, there's so many stories about black people being told, yeah, you can't wear your hair naturally because it doesn't look right. It's unprofessional looking. And the reason why people think it looks unprofessional is because society tells them it's unprofessional, because society tells them the only thing that looks professional is straight hair. Society tells them that your hair the way it is, your natural hairstyles of dreads or braids or all the other things is not professional. Change it. But then any random person on the street can decide, yeah, I want to wear dreads because they look cool and it'll fit my bohemian lifestyle. And it's not the same.
So in terms of cultural appropriation, another thing we have to talk about is cultural exchange. And so here's the thing. I love cultural exchange because cultural exchange gave me so many new spices to try. And I'm so happy for that. But cultural exchange is amazing, and I love learning about other cultures and how other people have their way of life. But there's also the negative side of cultural exchange that I don't think we analyze a lot. And one of the things that's been bothering me not in recent years, it's been bothering me a lot since I first learned of it, and it's the issue of colorism.
Yeah.
Because when I first encountered colorism, I thought, oh, this is a black people thing. Cool. And then I learned it went on all around the world. And I learned about
Europeans invaded, that's where it went.
Yeah. And I found out about bleaching soaps, especially in countries like India and Asian countries where it's just
Fair and Lovely.
And Jamaica and Haiti.
It's especially popular in Jamaica and Haiti. And I was just why? Why would you bring these ideals with you? Why would you bring
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I think that's the same thing with the paper bag test, right?
Yeah.
Because it's based in colorism. And it's you're already an oppressed group. Why would you oppress people in your group if you already know what it feels like? But then it's just all the survival skills that you've had, all the assimilation that you've had to do just becomes a part of your foundation as a group of who you are. Because Indian people should not be colorist because, like you said, when you lived in Haiti, there were people who looked really white, and then there were people who looked really dark. They were all considered Haitian. Same thing with India. There's Aisha Rai, then there's some people in India that look straight up black, but they're Indian. It just happens like that. Genetics are funky. But it's just all the imperialism and everything that you're taught through survival sometimes just sticks with you. And you really don't know how to unlearn it. And before you know it, you're kind of doing the same shit that your oppressors are doing to you.
And the thing is, I keep saying, you're literally being told that what you look like naturally is not beautiful, and that the only way to be beautiful is to be lighter. And it doesn't help that to be marketable, a lot of cultures, they choose their lightest skinned actors, they choose their lightest skinned people to be in the public view. And so this happens in South America, it happens in India, it happens in Asia. No matter where you look, it will always be the lightest skin of the culture. And
so
this
not to interrupt, but like, just to put a lighter spin on this, you know, there's like a name for that, and it's called baggage range.
Oh yeah, it was
Never
on
heard that.
Blackish.
Yeah, it's
I
just
don't
like
watch Blackish. I literally cannot.
Blackish is bad, but it's my guilty pleasure.
I never
I feel
had mixed dish.
I don't have the same experience as you guys watching Blackish because like,
I
for me
know.
it's super informative.
It just makes me cringe. Like I can't watch cringy shows, and that
Okay.
shows are very cringy.
I feel okay. So not to like divert the conversation. So Blackish exists
For
in
white
this. It does. It exists for non-black people, and that's fine.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
That's fine. Blackish was originally sold as like. I don't think it was ever sold for black people because it says black-ish, as if the notion of being black is bad, so you can't be all black, so you should be black-ish.